For me, it was all about, I can always come back to college, I can always come back to uni, but I can never come back to this opportunity to play League of Legends. I just hope that whoever watches this video, maybe gets inspired, or maybe they start taking the step to either realizing that maybe they can't be a pro player. It's fine to be realistic, You don't have to always be the faker of League of Legends. You don't have to be that guy. And maybe this is just because of the fact that I'm a veteran player now, right? I've been through a lot of shit since then to now. I worked for where I am now. I think the start of my professional career came with Dignitas UK. I was 18 at the time, just turned 18. My god, that was so long ago. At that time in League of Legends, it was all about how well you are known rather than how much money you're making. As an 18-year-old, you usually have to find a part-time job in order to sustain yourself, right? As a person anyway. If you want to live, you need money. But back then, I have to live the poor man's life. And I think at the time, all I cared about was proving myself as a player, proving that, I can be there, I can make it. And that's when it kind of became a bit more real to me, when I started traveling to places. I traveled to Cologne to play in the German EPS, something like that.
Geht es da rein, MF Ultimate, gar nicht schlecht, zumindest gegen Zack. Währenddessen Platin reingejumpt, kassiert dafür viel Damage. Liplor mit dem Finishing Blow gegen Diana. Und jetzt ist es eigentlich eine Frage von Cooldowns auf Liplor, ganz genau. Oh mein Gott, es sind so viele Kills auf Liplor.
I mean, honestly, I missed the tournament side of it. I felt like going to all these places with LANs and stuff was probably the best time of my life. I felt like I was actually exploring everywhere with my teammates that I play with every day, which kind of reminds me as if they're your good friends, or your best friends. It's the feeling, maybe no one else will ever have that feeling aside from those that have actually played in teams. But the fact that you can experience this together with your other teammates that you play with every day, that you talk to every day, that you pretty much share every moment, it's pretty amazing time, in my opinion. Back then, I would live in my house because of the fact that I had exams. I actually had to not play one of the LCS qualifier tournaments back then with a team called Dexter's Actually Evil, because basically I got I love her right now, but basically I got told if I don't go to that exam, then don't come back home. I ended up not doing so well in that exam, so yeah, should have went to LCS. Fuck it. I mean, honestly, Asian households and traditions, it's very educational. They're very, very strict in terms of when it comes to education, because they believe that, education is everything. Without education, you can't do anything in life. But I just knew I had to have a chance for it, because I knew I was good enough. Obviously, it depends on how hungry you are as a player. And for me, I was really hungry because, one, I didn't want to have the same lifestyle as my parents had set out for me, because they wanted me to go to, college, university, find a job, an internship or whatever, maybe do a master's even, and then, just have a standard 9 to 7 job. And it's not that I don't want to be a lawyer or doctor or accountant or, I can name so many stuff like software engineer or anything like that. I chose League of Legends because this is what I wanted to do, I had a choice. I didn't have to do this, but I just felt in the end, I'm only going to regret this if I don't do it. My first year in LCS was SHC. I played the whole split with them. Got third in regular, and then we lost. But it's not that I was a bad player, but just the environment there was just not good. And if you are a growing player and the environment's not good around you, obviously it sucks, but you can only blame yourself, right? Because you can still get better. You can still do something about it. Maybe not about the situation, but you yourself can improve. And that's why I did on Super Crew. I've been around a lot of teams actually in the scene. There was never one team that I thought was super amazing, aside from H2K. Because at the time they were 2-4. H2K were going really, really downhill.
Able to defend, and H2K with a stunning victory over Elements. showed that their substitution pays off.
30 minutes, 16 seconds, and H2K stack another win.
And the League of Upsets continues. They've taken them out and extend their own to 7 in a row.
Least deaths in the league, highest assists, highest team KDA. All of this has transpired since Kasing joined the squad. 8-0, undefeated in Europe. He's got a 75% kill participation that has allowed them to shoot to the top of the tables.
I don't think it was mainly me, but it was just due to the fact that I was a very plug and play player. I was very flexible because, you know, I had no ego. I was just this guy from Challenger. I was very hungry to learn. And of course I was paired with Hyunan, who probably taught me the most I've ever been taught by anyone. I started to basically understand more and more about the game, about how to play League of Legends, how to be a better player. Even though he was rookie as well, but he was so smart.
Yarnin, you have the most kills for an AD carry, you have the least deaths, you have the best KDA. How have you snuck yourself in there?
Kasing.
Kasing, one word.
I mean, honestly, I jokingly spoke with him about it before, and like he was just saying, you know, he was telling me, I'm gonna say your name, I want to say your name. Like, it felt so weird because like I was really good friends with him actually, and it just felt like he gave me all the praise because he's the type of guy that is willing to do that. Like, he's a very selfless guy. I just felt like someone like this that's so open to just give you the glory is someone that I was always like kind of cherish as my friend no matter what. Most esports players aren't really that social. They're quite introverted, I would say. Like, there's so many players in esports that just, you know, rage a lot, and maybe it's a common thing, right, for players that, you know, turn to video games just because of the fact that maybe their family are having problems, right? Maybe they're not having the greatest time in their own life, so they want to get away from it. So everyone just thinks, oh, it's me against the world, rather than like it's my team against the world.
Did you ever feel in later seasons everyone now expects you to go on some mad big win streak and every team you join has to like turn to gold or whatever?
In a way, yes, but I can also take account of that because I knew that I was good, but I also thought I was better than everyone else. I basically started to be a bit more toxic, like stuff that we wouldn't do or that I wouldn't do, I would do, and then after it would kind of be like pretty bad because we have arguments, and then it kind of create like a negative environment in the team. And once you're in that hole, it's pretty hard to come out of it unless you have like a kind of like another reset, another Kasing joins or whatever. And I can take account for it because I know what I fucked up on, and yeah, it basically caused the team to go down a bit in terms of bot lane anyway, which is my regret.
If I asked you why do you play League of Legends, like why do you do esports, what would you say?
I would actually just say straight up, because I don't want to have a normal job. I feel like League of Legends or being in esports is already a blessing. The fact that it's so different to everything else is why I love it. I feel like I'm different to everyone else because no one else will ever be able to say that they lived the same life as I did or know what I've done. I can safely say that, you know, I was one of the first UK League of Legends players that made it to Worlds. And yeah, I think this is like one of the best feelings ever. I made it as part of like a system in the UK especially where education is pretty much a given in every single scenario. Like, there's no way that you can skip education until after uni. That's pretty much how it was in UK. Like, you can't just take a gap year and fuck off. Like, everyone would be like, what's this guy doing? Like, in your gap year, you're meant to get work experience, right? Because if you get work experience, then you can find a job after uni, blah, blah, blah. You need it. If you don't have it, then you don't get anything in life. But I suffered like verbal abuse every day from my parents. And once you've been to that point where you're getting permanently triggered by everything around you, maybe that's why I played League. I just realized, oh, it came back to me because it was a part of my life that I kind of blocked out because it's not happy thoughts, you know, it's quite negative. The only thing it's done is just shaped me to who I am today. So I feel after that kind of experience, then I'm able to basically be where I am now.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. This is definitely me. Elle is such a chubby baby, Jesus Christ. I ate too much.
The thing is, like, it's kind of weird because I was born here in London, but as soon as I was like 1, I moved back to Hong Kong for like another 6 to 7 years. I was born and raised, because I don't remember like from my age 1 to 7 or 8 at all. Like, I don't remember it, or I don't remember myself being in Hong Kong, even though there's pictures that show that I'm there physically, but it doesn't make any sense. Going to school here, back after coming back from Hong Kong, basically meant that since I knew zero English, right? So every lesson, I can remember one day, it was just like, people are just doing this, but I don't understand shit. I just knew that people were basically just opening their mouths and closing them. You don't understand anything, literally. It's just, I can't wait to go home. You're just looking at the time. I'm just staring at the time the entire day. Because, 1, I don't want to be there, because I don't know anything. But 2, it's very isolated, right? If you don't know anyone, then you just feel like you're alone. You don't really have anyone to talk to. And no one else knew Cantonese. When we were choosing colleges, I went to like a pretty smart college. It had like a limit to how many students can apply or can be in there. So, and I made it. So I felt pretty good about myself. But the thing is, obviously, if you apply to a college like that, that generally means like it's a really hard college and the courses are hard, and which they were. And I felt really stressed out, especially with the coursework and deadlines and just pretty much like exams. I just felt like there was so much pressure, and I ended up like playing League of Legends because of my friend. He kind of recommended it to me. He's like, yo, let's just play a few games. I just felt like I got more addicted to it day by day, and yeah, I just started to feel like, you know, maybe I can go pro in this. And then after I just went for it. Right after I did my, what's it called? My mock exams for AS level, first year of college, my results were really bad compared to what it was expected of me. Like, I was an A-star student, or A-star, A-star, A. And then I turned to like C and U and D. And it kind of hit me like, me spending way more time on League meant that I would have a high chance to make it pro, but then it would basically make my work, or schoolwork, deteriorate, or my coursework especially. And I was having a chat with my brother, Eric. He's the one that's kind of like supported me throughout the entire time. There was one moment in time where I just asked him like, do you think I'm fucking stupid for trying to go pro in the game? How he basically told me was that, go for it. If you don't go for it, then I'll sort you out. Like, in the end, like, you can always go back to school. Like, he's always giving me alternatives. He basically just gave me the reassurance that I needed.
So did you stay for the second year, or?
I actually stayed for the second year because I just wanted to have an extra year to basically go pro in League. That was when I really like wanted to make sure that I didn't regret my decision, right? Because after college, usually it's a gap year. And I wanted to try my gap year and basically going pro in League. And yeah, but my parents wouldn't approve of it. They were telling me to go to uni anyway. Even though I didn't have the best grades, I could still go to some unis, don't get me wrong, but they're not the preferred unis I would want to go to, you know? It was kind of a sad time actually that time, because I felt like everyone was against me. And I kind of took out in solo queue. I would actually rage a lot because of the fact that that was the moment when I realized, you know, everything was going bad. That my grades were getting bad, my life was getting bad. I wasn't earning money, I was losing in solo queue. I was just getting flamed by my parents. I was getting, you know, it's pretty much every single thing that you can think of that was negative happened in one month. Within that whole month, I was just depressed. Because when my parents were verbally abusing me every day, it was just like, you know, I don't want to live. And when I say this, I don't mean like, oh, you're so bad. Like, nothing like this. It's more to do with like, you're so stupid compared to your cousins. Like, they're going to Oxford, Cambridge, UCL, and you're going to nowhere. And it was like every day they'll talk shit about me to my cousins, to my aunts, like uncles, other cousins that I talk with and I know. And it kind of triggered me a lot. Why should I go through this shit just to go with a passion of what I want to do, you know?
Did that make you want to stop when that happened?
No, it didn't make me want to stop. It just made me want to like just run away from everything. You know, I felt like at one moment I doubted everything I did, and I doubted my own existence. Like, am I even doing anything? Like, what have I done to make a difference in this world or in this, like, my life right now? That's how I felt, because I was literally failing at everything, right? At times I would feel so helpless. My friends weren't, you know, they weren't, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, when you're in that point where you feel fucking depressed, you don't reach out to your friends. Like, they are there for you if you talk to them, but they're not there for you if you don't say anything, because they don't know, you know? Not everyone knows what kind of state of mind you're in. Like, for me, I'm a very happy guy, right? I don't show my emotions when I'm sad or anything to anyone. I don't, like, I feel like it's just a waste of time to them and me, because me ranting my problems to them doesn't achieve anything. The problem won't be solved, and two, like, what can they do about it, you know? There's nothing they can do about it to fix my situation that I have at home, where my parents don't approve what I want to do. They are always looking down on me and just basically saying, you know, what a worthless piece of shit I am. That was basically how it got to that point, I guess. So, in order to get out of this whole slump and to, like, reassure myself that what I'm doing is the correct decision, is try find a new motivation to kind of give it your all, you know? And my motivation was basically it was the whole phrase with, what do I gain from doing this? So me being sad, what do I gain from it? Me being depressed, what do I gain from it? And once I started to have this kind of ideology or mindset that I just question, is it worth my time or not? Then I started to realize that everything else became productive. I started to basically be more active. I started to, you know, look for teams. I started to play more solo queue. I started to look at vlogs. I started to look at so much stuff. Like, I did so much in that 1 year after I got out of this whole slump of 1 month than I've ever did even like in school and stuff.
What do you think about making that decision now, looking back? Because it sounds like it was really tough. But...
I mean, honestly, it was tough, but I don't regret a single bit of what I did to get to where I am now, because I know that every single decision I did back then was what I thought was the best decision at the time to make me a pro player. Like, I wanted to make sure that I was here, because that was where I wanted to be, right? Like, there was nowhere else I wanted to go. If I was this hungry, why would I give everything up just to throw it all away, you know? You kind of have to give up your social life, your ability to basically have an actual life. Because back then, if you don't play League of Legends solo queue, then you're slacking. If you're slacking, you get kicked. It's like a vicious cycle. You don't actually get that much of a break time. Or your free day is basically you playing solo queue with no scrims. It was a very stressful time. I didn't really agree with the environment, because you're in a gaming house as well. You don't get your own personal space. It was like your chickens that were just forced to make eggs, which is basically League of Legends. That's how I see it.
Do you think it's different now?
honestly, I still feel it's quite similar. But the difference is that now that it's an established job, you can actually show your parents that you have got money, and then they'll most likely will agree to it, because that's how I got my parents to approve anyway. Like, it's always about showing the first paycheck, right? The moment you start showing that you can do it, and once you have your parents' support, the only thing your parents care about is, one, your health, of course, but 2 and 3 is just your results of your education and your future. And if you can't meet any of those requirements, then why should they call you their son, you know? Like, it's very strict, actually. I mean, they're fine now, they're very lenient. But this is just back then, like, I would say maybe around like 8 years ago. It was really different.
Do you resent them at all for it?
It's not that I resent them, right? In the end, what they did was pretty much give me a reason or motivation, or they pushed me to the point where I was so motivated to prove them wrong that it made me finally achieve my dream. And I'll always be thankful for that, right? And they have their reasons to be mad at the time. And I know I'm not dumb, you know. I'm not just gonna like straight up say, you know, you guys are fucking pricks for shouting at me at the time. Like, I know why they had their own reasons. Like, if I had a son one day that, you know, he would tell me that he wants to be a pro player, and if I had no clue what League of Legends or even how to use a PC, then of course I'd just be like, this guy's, is he stupid or what? Like, what happened to him? I just know that there was justification to it, so that's why, like, I will never keep like a grudge, especially against my parents. Like, having a grudge or holding any hate towards your own parents is a terrible thing to do, because they're the ones that, you know, spend like their entire time, or your childhood basically, just raising you, keeping you fed and all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just a Chinese thing, right? Where they give to you and then you give back to them. That's why, like, a lot of my eSports money, as people think that they would think I would have earned a lot of money in eSports because I've been there for so long, right? But actually, a lot of it has gone to my parents. I just don't see the point of having money if you're only going to use it on yourself. Like, you should use it on people that, or you should use your money however you think will basically make people around you happy. You want to make sure that your parents are proud of you, and even despite them like going or making me suicidal at some points, I knew that they pushed me to the point where they wanted what's best for me, and I will always appreciate that.
Are you proud of stuff that you accomplished?
I mean, I'm proud of like everything that I've gone through to be where I am, yes. I'm proud to say that, you know, that I'm playing League of Legends. Like, honestly, it's the best job in the world.